Welcome to lesson 3. Joe Cerrone, MasterCAM, Francis Barr is also here with me, and we're going to go through how to do our lesson 3. Lesson 3 is really good because we start working with machine tools. And so we'll look at some of the options within MasterCAM. Transform is modify. Geometry attributes, circles. Geometry attributes would be things like colors, layers. And then being able to analyze the geometry, there's a command that allows you to analyze and do inquiry. And then you can also learn how to create dimensions. Due today, lab number 1, okay? Just these 2 assignments, the other one is bonus, okay? File name should be your initials and then lab number 1 and lab number 1A. They have some good videos in CAM Instructor. And so if you check out the videos and tips and tricks, they're actually quite good. And they have a couple of guys who do the videos. One guy's got a little bit of a, I don't know, he's got this British accent and kind of grinds on me a little bit, but he is quite good. And then there's another guy who does them also. I think it's newer, it's a little more professional. But we're gonna look at stock setup, transform, and backplotting. If you want to know where those videos are, you can just go into CAM Instructor and you go to your course. And then tips and techniques. These are really good. And so, yeah, I've always just hit middle lesson 1, 2, and 3 to get the work done. But some of the techniques are good. And so if you look at trim and extend, MasterCAM is really kind of different on that. Look at the videos on that. Here's the transform video. And they talk to you. They tell you about why the colors are the way the colors are, why you have to clear colors. And so when you transform something, it's like purple until you clear the colors. We'll go through some stock setup and some backplot. But there are 3 videos for you. Switching back to our PowerPoint. Okay, we'll come back for questions when we're not doing the video. They like to do this task orientated, task 1, 2, 3, and I like that too because then you get used to doing the same thing every time. Task 1, setting the environment. Task 2, create the 3x3 rectangle. Create the 1/4 inch diameters. Create the bolt hole circle pattern. Save the drawing. So the first part of the tasks are always the same. It's drawing. And then the second part of the tasks are always machining. And so when we start machining, we start off by setting up the stock, and then we start setting up the tool paths. So here's lesson number 1. If we want to give a demo of that, it's this 3-inch by 3-inch rectangle. Let me right click and see if I can print that. I'm going to pause the video while I do that. So we're going to go through and look at demo 3, and I may send some information or ask some questions while I'm doing it with Francis, because he's out there working on the machines. And so things like, where are we going to set up 0 on this part? Now, I don't see it on this one, but I think we're going to set this one up in the middle of the stock. Does that sound right, Francis? So we're going to set 0 in the middle of the stock. Now, if you haven't set up a CNC machine coordinate system, it has something called, it's a G54 setting. And what it does, it sets the 0 point of the X and Y location. And when we get into MasterCAM and we start to work with it, 0 is where it says it is. And so if I hover the cursor right here and I look down here at the bottom, that's where MasterCAM has 0 set up. And if I say File, New, it just gives me a new file. And we're going to do a quick demo of lesson 3. So what we would do is we would start off by defining, I usually, when I say it's a grid snap. So you go to the new tab, make sure grid snap on, click this down there. I like grid snap, obviously don't do it, but sometimes I do. And then once grid snap is set, you go back and verify new drawings. Right mouse
set up your interface. Right side continuous, right mouse click, on side different, right mouse click color. This is fine. Start to draw. When you draw this, because maybe you do a center rectangle, I go rectangle here, I go rectangle, and all the options are listed right here. So I go center rectangle. And I say make this 3 by 3. It's really easy work. Just go over here, here's the auto cursor, set. Snap the origin, and I can green check mark, get this out, and part of this of the machine. The other thing I want to do, I can backtrack, doesn't matter anyway, so go to the machine, we're going to set that up as a default mill. You have all these machines we can run. What you need to do is find out what kind of machines you have at your company. And right now we use mill default. If you go for set, you mill to run the default mill. Okay, so you get. So I'm going to do my PowerPoint, it's going through all these different commands like rotate, positions, offsets, mirrors. I'm going to just draw this part out. So what we're going to do is also time center, come back here, right frame, circle, right here, right here, and we do another circle, just line, right there, change the line, right there, change the first pad. Basically, it separates things in layers like this. You can make a full pattern circle, it's 2 inches. So I guess I'm trying to here, check that, and right there, right there, it's not right here, it's a diameter. You just go out there, it's a diameter of 1 inch. And I can check mark that. I'm going to try my hand, I'm not super good at making it's a shot. So when I look at the bolt pattern, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 on this left, base height, sounds like so the minus BCD will be nice. The diameter of this is going to be 2. And the radius of this is 7 here. Sorry. Right, pause for a second.
It's minus zoom next. There it's going down. Okay, so it is recording. Hopefully it worked out. And I have one extra one here, so I'm going to delete the one underneath it by clicking on it and hitting. Okay, so that's our geometry. That's what we need to cut. What we do next is we go into the properties and we set up the machine. So since we've already called mill default, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the stock setup. Now, stock setup is a visual aspect. And what it allows us to do is to simulate the cutting of the machine. The x-axis and y-axis are both 3 by 3 for the size of the part. And the z is going to be 0.25. We're going to set it to display the geometry for the stock on the screen with the center in the center. And I'm going to just
and you might see it a little bit on the screen. I can see my computer is measured moving. This is how we're doing things. It's all in top part. Now that we have stock set up, go to the tool settings. So we go to the tool settings, and what we're going to do is we make these settings. We have to check the setting. Essentially, these tool settings are easy to see from the tool at this point. And in the tool gaps, we say override all the rules. Same sequentially, what we put in numbers. Start number 100, we say number 10. And the drill we set up at minimum. We set up things like 60, 61 under with our drills. We go in inches and say no print. And we can drill, change it. And so that's our drilling setup. I don't have a bunch of stuff to do here. As far as these three steps, we'll go through the machine. 2 things we set up: stock and tool sets. So with that part set up, next the only thing we do is go set up tools and tool pads. So the tool pads are what do we do? We get to set up drilling and see what it is here. We go to our tool pads. We're going to use 2 tool pads. We go here, we get a drill path. And we use the drill path. What we're going to do is we're going to go through and select the tooling for it. So this like tool path. So we're going to use the this. You want to shoot it so I consider. I'll take it a second to reach out. And go to myself. And I'll do that like here. Select tool hybrid. And select this spot. So we use filter. And the filter is like tool say none. Let's like we do say spot. Don't spot. And again, something that is greater than a quarter of an inch because it's the drill size. So it's like 3/4 inch. Now check. What size spot we have in there? It's 375. So get your gates. Spot. You want to match the tools to the ones you have in the shop. It's a very important thing because if you write programs for tools you don't have, you know, so we check. Okay. So now we have a spot. Center drill. You can use full change this like this one. I'll set number. And then you can set up 5.0. Just a minute. Just set it up at 15 minutes. Literally, actually, I'm not sure how you done. Then you click on it. Spot drill. And I wonder if you take all that. And then you come here to the drilling parameter. So we just leave it as drill number. And then we can parameters. So we just set that up. Then we got this right now. Top size 0. Just fine. And that we set up as nice. 0.15. And then we do we target. And we see how it's. We'll see how it's up. So then we get parameters and see that. So that's how we got top. We set up the top. And then we're going to say check mark. And now when we change something, it's all every tool. We have to repeat that. Let's redo it. And then we say, check this out. No, it's okay. No. So it's my retraction. My retraction is generous, but for our purposes, it's what I'm writing. So we start drill the holes. And we can check it. We can simulate a verifying operation. Like, you can see how portion just enough to select chamber is needed for the geometry you check. Alt G, toggles, full pad on and off. I'm going to leave mine on, and then I'm going to stop the next one. So I'm going to do my gas, and then select another drilling pad. I go right mouse click, go back to top view. Then I go to my 2D, and go back to drill. And then I go select it. So this is not again. First day, just select it based on the last one. And then go back to it. And then select it. That's like so. If not, I'll have to get it. And then we said, you can chart, select those, go tool, right mouse click, select library. And this time, I'm going to go to the and say, I want to drill. So I'm going to drill. And I say, you do a reach. You filter all the drills in my microphone, and select it. Basically, if you want to, I'm going to the parameters, and I'm going to drill. When I go with that drill. So I got to back. And that way, if I'm making these out of hard material, drill down these back up, drill down chips. It's a better way to drill. We're not using parameters. I'll be top to side at 0. Now make the depth. Make the depth. The part is a quarter of an inch. We can calculate. I'm just going to go through minus 0.4, which will be planned. I'll bring check mark that. And I'll say it again as well. Same way, I go to the depth. Right now, isometric. I'm done with it. Like, again, I'm wasting some motion. If my boss came by and saw me doing this, he'd probably say you're wasting cycle time. So we go through setting up retractions, and clear types, but it's always better to clear clamps than crash tools. So when you run the parts for the first time, you want to go through and set it up really safe. Once you've already done that, we usually check the whole control, check the whole, we have to check marks in that. So there's installation, and plate, so it's slow. So it's on, slow down, and we'll bring it, and plate it. One, sorry. And it's a check. So you really verify these, actually, I can't bring it. So that's the opening. We go through side walls. Let's see what this is. You can see it's going to go. Don't let your issues get in the way. Think like you think about the Z height, because it's not SPM joints, it's the operator, and you're going to set up for it. So see what you come in. So once you have simulated machine or those installation, and then you generate the G-codes. Now, the student versions will not do this. I just like to say before I do simulation. So I'm saying this is like, I have one extra example, GC dash, I have 3. See. And if it crashes, at least you have something. And the generate G-code, you use G1 here, and you run the bonus process, you check mark. The last one go, because I'll see the same patient, and we call it my initials dash, I have 3. But if we run the post, and generate the G-codes. This is what we want. We want G-codes. This is how machines run. So I show you that one number. You do that in stocks out, close out. I say, oh, 3,000. You can use that number and use you can actually place your like time process. That's how you tool. That's another one's grade. It's not tool. We use a quarter-inch drill. So when the setup guy comes in, he puts the tools in. There's G-codes. And number 10, 10. Like number 10 value, there are your reps. G-codes control the G. G20 is the just G0 is set line or rapid. And it's a line. Gives us our compensation. Gives us the saves your G cycles. It says that gives us the program. Then goes top of it. So it's not the only 6 about filter. And then you go to the offset or X and Y axis. So that's turn on C. G1 is right. Then goes to the G1. It's not all information. When you go to G5, then you go to it's not necessary. If you want to learn the G-codes, you get that information in detail. This is all we need to run the machine now. What we do is things from SD, put it on the Haas simulators, double check it on a Haas controller, and we download it to a machine tool and cut the part. Then we okay, so here's number 3. The demonstration how we do it. Just like it's not perfect, it's going to work. It's going to be able to get us set up with that part. Okay, I'm going to finish recording and open these up.